Hey everybody, just a quick video. I wanted to come at you with something a little different. Not everything that I do that I think matters I can put on a quote card and have it fit nice and cute and ready for Instagram or Facebook. So some things require a little more depth. So I'm going to do this video on the self-rejection checklist, because a lot of times you can have, if you have a physique goal, you can have the exact right diet and the exact right program, and yet you continually self-sabotage. And oftentimes these are the same people who are, you know, putting feel good, cutesy, kitsy quotes up on their social media and whatnot. But really, your actions as a group, a cumulative effect of your actions, reflect how you actually feel about yourself. So I put together this checklist that you can do. Do you really and truly like yourself? Do you really have a good self-respecting relationship with yourself? So I put together this self-rejection, the authentic self-hate checklist of a dozen little items. Now, you can have one or two or many of these here and there, but if this checklist applies to you more often than you're comfortable with, and you have more than one or two of them makes you human. Combination of these and frequency of these means you actually are in a mode of self-rejection, and in that you're not likely to get out of that just by losing weight or trying another diet or whatever. Along those lines, here is the self-rejection, self-hate checklist. Number one, sabotaging your goal. Constantly sabotaging your goal. If every New Year's you have the same goal you had last year, or you decide you're going to get up an hour earlier every day and go to the gym, and by the end of the week you're not doing that. If you have a history of sabotaging your goal, that's self-rejection. Number two kind of feeds into that. Quitting your plan. If you're always making plans and then quitting them, then that has a lot to do with self-rejection as well, because you're basically telling yourself you're not important enough to follow through. Number three, self-medication for no reason. Now this can even be with food, and we see this all the time. Self-medication with whatever substance or thing that's out there, and you have no reason, nothing really going on other than maybe even boredom. But self-medicating for no reason. Number four, a need to control everything. People who self-reject have a tendency to want to control everything because they're so insecure and so afraid of being hurt, and they try to control everything around them because they're walking on pins and needles. Number five, obsessing over insignificance. A lot of people in this one in particular do what's known as collecting slights. They don't remember all the, oh, that was good, oh, you really look nice. They don't remember any of those things. They'll remember the 1 in 100 thing that can be taken as a criticism or as an insult, or it's not even meant as a criticism or an insult, but they'll blow it up to be one. But obsessing over things that don't matter. What a neighbor's doing that you're not doing. What someone else is doing to better themselves that you're not doing, but obsessing over things that don't really matter in your life. Number six, compare, contrast, and compete with everyone else. This is especially dangerous on social media when you're looking through other people's lives and you're hate-liking pictures and videos and all the rest of it. So that's a part of the self-rejection checklist. The more of that you do, the more likely you are to be in a mode of self-rejection, not self-acceptance. If you compare, contrast, and compete with others. Doesn't mean like going online and paying attention to others and integrating and being interactive with others. That's not the same thing. But if you're always comparing, contrasting, and competing with others, they have it better than I do, they don't deserve what they have, all that kind of stuff, you're in the self-rejection mode. Number seven, codependence. Sometimes you think you don't have to explain things, but codependence should be a natural thing. In other words, and it can be something like food. You could be with a partner who's overweight, and you keep capitulating your own physique goals and weight loss goals to allocate to them and what they want to do with regards to going off diet or having a meal out or just this once and all the rest of that stuff. So you could be in a codependent relationship. If you are, that's a way of self-rejection as well, and those can be right from minor to very, very serious things. Number 8, overeating beyond hunger. You eat way past satiation, or you eat for emotional reasons. You're trying to fill a different kind of hunger. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Overeating beyond hunger and overeating for no reason is a sign of self-rejection as well, because you're looking for soothing in some other place, or you don't think you're important enough to stop when you're full. So number 9, hiding from the truth. Hiding from your truth, or hiding from a truth. As the saying goes, we're only as strong as our lack of secrets. We're only as free as our lack of secrets. And a lot of people are hiding from their authentic self, their authentic truth. They don't want to be found out about something as simple as just being a phony, not being who they pretend to be online, or hiding some other truth, or hiding from a truth, like your relationship isn't working, you hate your job and you want to quit. All those kind of things is a mode of self-rejection, because you think what you really know deep in your soul isn't worth listening to, so you hide it from others, from yourself, whatever. Number 10, lashing out at others, especially significant others. This is another part of the self-rejection checklist. If you have a need to lash out at others, and usually for no specific reason, in other words, you overreact, especially around significant others, that's classic projection. Oftentimes they don't deserve it, and it's really your desire to lash out at yourself for what you're not doing that you know you should be doing, or just letting all these other self-rejection things build up, like the codependence and the hiding from the truth and the comparing and contrasting and competing and obsessing over insignificant things. That leads to wanting to lash out. You blow your top, as the saying goes. Number 11, avoiding the mirror. A lot of people on the self-rejection list, they look at that as much cosmetically as they do soulfully, and of course they look in the mirror and don't like what they see. Classic self-rejection. You don't have to like what you see, you have to accept what you see. And if you can't accept what you see and you go out of your way to avoid mirrors, that's classic self-rejection as well. And then finally, just to complete the dozen, constantly seeking and or needing the approval of others. Now, if you're always wondering that you need reinforcement for how you think about a subject, or how you think about what's in the news, or how you think about what someone else is saying or someone else's opinion, but especially you need approval or validation for how you particularly are thinking before someone else validates that you're okay to think that way. Constantly seeking other people's validation or need of approval of others, that's classic self-rejection, because you don't count on yourself that you're okay with your own opinion, and instead you need to know what other people think first. So that's 12 things. You put them all together, that's what I call the self-rejection checklist. So a lot of people, like I say, they're pretty good at putting up, like positive thinking quote cards and all this, you go girl and all the rest of it. But really, do you really and truly like yourself? Do you really and truly have a good self-respecting relationship with yourself? You have to identify how many of these 12 points apply to you. There are so many ways to illustrate self-rejection and self-hate, and if more than a few of these above 12 points point to you, then you need to consider this, because it's going to sabotage everything you do. So if you think, wow, I really don't like myself, I really don't accept myself, let me just say, you can do better than this, you can be better than this, and you are better than this. But what you practice is who you are. So your actions not only tell you who you are, but they also reflect your true and authentic relationship with yourself. So by your actions and this list above, this dirty dozen self-rejection list, do you really and truly like yourself and practice self-acceptance more than you practice self-rejection? Let's review the dirty dozen self-rejection checklist one more time, and the more of these resonate with you, the more you got to change your actions in order to like yourself and accept yourself just a little better than what you're doing right now. So, how many of these apply to you? The self-rejection dirty dozen: sabotaging your goal, quitting your plans, self-medicating for no reason, needing to control everything, obsessing over insignificance, compare, contrast, and compete with others, codependence, overeating beyond hunger, hiding from truth, hiding from your own truth, hiding from the truth, lashing out at others, especially significant others, avoiding the mirror, constantly seeking or needing the approval of others. If more than a few of these resonate with you as constants in your life, then you're practicing more self-rejection than you are self-acceptance. Think about this and then put into action and know that you can do better, you can be better, and you are better. So hopefully that resonates with a few of you and it can help a few of you in some way or another. And I'll see you all hopefully in another helpful video down the road. Let me know what you think below. Keep your comments if you like these kind of videos, and if not, or if they help you in any way. And like I said, I'll see you next time.